one of the reasons why I'm so calm is because I love being out here in nature. Actually, I don't spend enough time out here. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily calm in my daily tasks. I wouldn't say necessarily calm in my relationships. I still have a lot of work to do in those areas. But when it comes to the world and how the world moves, it doesn't really faze me. And that might sound quite arrogant, but I'm going to give some advice here. I know I'm still a little young to give advice because I've got a lot of learning to do. And I do think as you get older, as you get a beard, as you get more grayer, I think people do tend to listen to you more because when you're younger, there is a threat to you. You know, it's like how the new generation they get taller, they get more disciplined, they may be more successful at an early age, and it can be quite intimidating. Not to me, because I kind of like that. I like the circle of life. I like the progression. It makes me feel like when I die, things are actually progressing. It kind of goes against what I'm about to say next, but if I can give you one piece of advice, it's the world is an apple whirling through space. Lyric there for a song. Everybody knows it. And there is this form of momentum in Earth. And if you know you're reading, if you're a conscious person, you'll know this already. But everything is predicted. Not predicted, but it's so predictable. We don't even really have to access the environments we're in. We can pretty much take a guess where things are going to go. When one new piece of technology is invented, you can guess all the different ways it's going to be used. For good, for evil, for perversions, for intelligence. You look at art. Art is so diverse. There's so many different avenues. If you look at a painter, there's so many different ways you could paint on a canvas. There's so many different ways you can make a film. But at the same time, having said all that, it's still predictable. Like these things, what come up, there's nothing really new. They've either happened in history, or it's not really a stretch of the imagination that this could happen. So whenever there's a world event, or there's something what's in dire straits, there's something what is challenging our equality and our beliefs, I'm not saying that it's not harrowing, but I'm saying that the thing we have to do, we have to step back. Because I'll give you an example now. If we look at the debate that was happening as of recent, maybe sizzling out a little bit again, which is what I'm saying. Things rise and fall. There's a lot of fear mongering what happens as well. But let's just talk about men versus women. Men over here and women over here. We could say that an extreme feminist movement started the whole divide what's happening now. And because that extreme feminist movement happened, it created an extreme male movement. I don't know what you call it, the blue pill, the red pill, whatever. And obviously we know for intelligence that extremes are usually a bad idea. You have the middle ground where there's men and women in the middle, maybe like myself, like my girlfriend, who we see flaws on both sides, we see positives on both sides, we like some of the things. I even understand some of the things what the red and blue people say. There's maybe 1 out of 10 of the things they say, I'd be like, there's something maybe in that. And that's usually how people actually start YouTube channels. That's why people start speaking, because they base enough of what they say in truth. They don't have to give evidence, because you don't have to give evidence on YouTube, and people just speak, and people don't have time to check. And if you're talking with authority, people think what you're saying is true. If we go back to this analogy, you got the people in the middle, you got the people in the extremes. Then you also have people what are extremes on the female side, who then jump ship and go to the extreme male side. Because they go extreme one way, they go extreme the other way. It's a bit like eating. It's like when we have 1 week we're extremely healthy, and then our cheat day we just go crazy. It's like our gym work. When we're at the gym, we have these periods where we fall off, and we have these periods where we try and get the blood going, and we try and get back at it. You have the males will try and pander to the women to try and get into their camp. We know why. And we have the women will try and pander to the men to try and get in their camp, and we also know why. So within that sphere, there is so much happening. You'll have comments what are haters. You'll have comments what are pro. You'll have comments what are just mocking. You have comments what are decisive. You'll have people watching these videos what sort of agree but don't. You have people watch the videos won't even know what you're talking about. They're just listening and they don't even understand what the words coming out your mouth mean. And this is all within the sphere of humanity. Nothing should be really a surprise. Nothing should be really shocking. These things have always existed. Fear-mongering, gatekeeping, powerful spokespeople who actually are just speaking a lot of sewage, but because their voices boom and because they're so good at selling their own product, and because there is also a market, we all feel down and we have these feelings. We go on a date, it fails. Why? Let's listen to this guy. He says this. Oh wait, maybe it is that because then this happened. And then we all get locked into this ideology. Then it becomes a thing. Then we're all talking about it, and then we're no longer just actually going on dates. And then we end up here. Then that goes into loneliness and depression. But what I'm saying is, the best piece of advice I can give, and the reason why I'm so calm, one of the reasons I don't get involved with this stuff, but another reason is because I know that everything is predictable. People are predictable. Just take that bird's eye view. Just take that balanced approach. Just look at the battlefield. Be a strategist and just see. Yes, there's extreme people, but there's also people who will be normal. There'll be people who are normal, but they might want to be extreme. There'll be extreme people who want to be normal. It's complex, but at the same time, it's easy to understand. It's just a forward momentum. What's coming next in the world isn't that hard. We predicted it. You can just type it on Google now. What's going to happen in the next 10 years? Well, maybe not. Don't type that in because you might not get the greatest answer. But we know the problems. What we got coming to our lives. We got. I'm about to say predator in a way what Jordan Peterson used. I was watching a Jordan Peterson and Richard Dawkins debate, and he was talking about predators. I don't agree with what he's saying, but I'm going to use it metaphorically now. But we have the predators of economic contagions, with the predators of global warming. We know our life's at stake, so we don't have to really be surprised. We don't have to fearmonger. We have to actually work out what that means and what it's going to do. And then we don't get ourselves trapped in that. If we believe that our life's already over, then don't just become a pessimist. It's good to challenge yourself and be optimistic, but at the same time, pull yourself out and take that approach. Look at what optimistic people are saying. Look at what pessimistic people are saying. Don't get angry at somebody. I mean, I get annoyed at people when they speak about. It's like the thing what happens now is every single podcast or talk show is talking about something they don't really know about. And I know you could say that's what I'm doing, that's what we're all doing, but it annoys me when there's like a subject that comes up and a certain type of people talk about it, and then the whole world decides to talk about it, even though they're just echoing what's already been said. So yeah, I'm going to conclude there, but that's my advice. Just understand that everything is forward momentum. If you're having a bad day and you don't do something about it, the next day is going to be bad. If you don't have food in your fridge, you're going to be hungry tomorrow. It's all determined. It's all. Yes, we can if we individually we can pick through the bones of our life and we can actually determine a mild outcome. But the actual world itself, do not fear, do not worry. I'm not saying keep your head down. I'm not saying don't stand up for your beliefs. But I'm just saying understand when you stand up for your beliefs, there's always going to be opposition. There's always going to be somebody standing up against you. And once you know that, and once you understand humans, and once you understand the cycle of life in history, you're going to become calm. After you got through the stage of, oh, this is actually quite scary, then we go on to the stage of calmness. Okay, have a good week. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your winters. If you're in a place where there's sun, I guess enjoy the sun. Ciao.